Mikey G?
Yeah, I can. No, right away, you know where you're at. You know exactly where you're at. You know, you're not in the gardens anymore. You know, in the jungle. You're in the jungle with the animals all over, just, trying to tear you apart. Turn veggie. I say that when we are where we are, we survive.
Yes.
We survive. That's how we do it. I want to say good morning to our peeps on Facebook again. I want to say good morning to our peeps on YouTube who have just joined us. I want to say good morning to also our people on radio. Those who are on www.flashpointmedia.ky. I want to say good morning to all our radio friends all over the world this morning, Lady Elise. And I must tell you that indeed we are having a great morning this morning. It's already Thursday, and so much has happened already. So much on our community notice board coming up later on. So many events are going on. This weekend is a packed weekend, and we have a few things going on that needs reminding and persons to know that it's happening. So guys, stick and stay tuned right here at Flashpoint this morning. Lady Elise?
Yes, just want to encourage our viewers, our listeners to, of course, stay with us. It's a beautiful Thursday morning. It is rainy. It is a
Mm.
rainy morning in Georgetown, Grand Cayman. It is truly one of those mornings where you wish you were in bed having yourself some
Mm.
nice plantain porridge. Yeah, I would go there. I'd place it right there, Mikey G. That's where I'm putting it. I like my plantain porridge, and I like it with some coconut milk in there. And I don't normally have condensed milk, with the exception of plantain
Mm.
porridge. Oh man! So
That you need
maybe
to
I ought not to have any plantain porridge
that you
yesterday.
need to condense the porridge.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those mornings, I'm telling you. It's a
Oh
wet
boy.
morning. If you're heading out to work and to school, remember to be extra cautious on the road. I'm so distraught, Mikey G, the amount of
Mm.
accidents that we have been experiencing
Yeah,
here.
I was thinking about that the other day. Just how many people are actually, having so many accidents,
Yeah.
more frequent than usual. And I'm telling you, it's not a simple thing to listen to. You're hearing it, and the one about the young man who came from India, and he just came back to work, and he's going to work, and he was hit down by a motor vehicle, and of course he died on the spot. It was something to think about, ladies. It was really something to think about. I think I like that view very much. It's a very interestingly, yeah, it brings it a little closer home. Yeah, but when you think about it, you know, it's not a nice feeling. Their fathers, their mothers, their wives, their cousins, their family members, their friends of people. And this is just accidents we're talking about. We're not talking about deliberate act of violence against a person.
Yes.
Somebody just got somehow the driver of the motor vehicle. I am not going to say what state or condition the mind was in or anything. I'm just saying that accidents are what they are. Um, could be avoided a lot of times, but they are still accidents. You know, that's why they are called accidents.
So it's an unfortunate circumstance, Mikey G.
Yes.
We are
Very.
never, yeah, it's not it's not something that you want to experience. As a matter of fact, um the idea, sometimes I remember visiting a young lady recently, and she was involved in a motor vehicle accident, and the tremendous discomfort that she faced, and recognized that She had injury to her cervical spine. She had injury to her
Wow.
limbs, and so although she was home, she was in a lot of pain, in a lot of discomfort. Had to be relying on relatives to care for her needs. Have her fed and all of that, and you're happy for life, but then your quality of your life, you're just waiting to be back. So let us be cautious on the very wet roads here in Grand Cayman. We had downpours this morning. The rain isn't falling right now at the studio or outside or inside or wherever. Mikey G.
Yeah, well, let's put it this way. It's nice and cool.
Yes.
And of course, when the rain falls naturally, it makes the grass grow. And it's a natural circle of life that we sometimes forget how important each aspect of our lives are important to the next. So sometimes we want to close off one part of it and think it's not necessary. But literally, the conversation we had earlier on this morning on radio, for those who didn't join us on www.flashpointmedia.ky, of course, in the mornings we start at 6:30 right there. So if you're just joining us on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel, right here, of course, our Instagram will be coming up shortly. But for now, let's look at where we are. www.flashpointmedia.ky. You go there at any point, you will find our radio, and we always on all day, 24 hours of the day, bringing you some excellent information. Of course, some great music, and of course, some highlights from the day's event. And of course, this morning we're talking about a little bit about Christianity. We're talking about the Catholic Church. We're talking about Protestantism. We're talking about the unification of all churches for the
Yes.
sake of survival in this onslaught against Christianity in this time.
But but
And how
but
do we
but Mikey
approach it?
G, it's a very interesting conversation because when you think of it, the question to persons that persons have who are not a part of the church, they are, why are there so many churches? Why are you
Yeah,
preaching a message of love and unity and you yourselves
are
can't be
disunited.
unified? And as a matter of fact, we find ourselves sometimes to the point that we hate each other, like
Rivalry. Rivalry exists.
within the body of Christ,
Yes.
serving one God. And I'm going to get the statistics. I need to get the statistics correct when I'm sharing it. And
We
I'm
can
going
get
to,
it.
the next time we get a commercial break, I'm going to get that information up to know how many denominations really exist and what message are we sending to others. We have a lot of evangelistic efforts, but what is the true message? They say action speak louder than words.
But then here's where the problem really lie even worse or further degrades itself.
Yes.
When an organization within itself have several beliefs, even within itself.
Yes.
So if I am Catholic, shouldn't I just be Catholic? Because this is what Catholicism is.
The conversation is getting so sweet when it's close to news time, and
Right.
so I
Let's go for the news, and of course, when we come back, we could have much more of these conversations, guys. Stick and stay with Flashpoint, flashpointmedia.ky, or if you just want to type in your Google chat, in your Google search bar, www.flashpointmedia.ky. Anywhere across the world you go, Flashpoint Media is there.
let's hear the news.
Good morning. This is the Breakfast Hour News headline, and I am Coralie Karen. We begin with weather alert. Tropical disturbance approaches Cayman. Rain and rough seas are expected to impact the Cayman Islands starting late Wednesday as potential tropical cyclone 19 continues to develop in the central Caribbean Sea. As of 4 p.m., the system was positioned approximately 264 miles southeast of Grand Cayman with maximum winds of 30 miles per hour, moving westward at 6 miles per hour. Local forecasters expect rainfall and turbulent sea conditions to intensify from Thursday through the weekend. The Cayman Islands National Weather Service is actively monitoring the system and advises residents to stay informed on the evolving weather condition. Analysis: is public spending in Cayman out of control? An ongoing analysis questions whether Cayman's public spending is spiraling out of control. Unlike other countries, Cayman does not levy direct taxes, instead relying on import duties and fees. Critics argue that this revenue approach is insufficient to cover escalating expenses, potentially limiting value for money in public services. The study dives deep into budget allocations to determine the cost effectiveness of Cayman's public sector spending. Fish market development. Businessman back to the drawing board in Georgetown plans for a new park at the Red Spot Beach. Currently a popular fish market location, face delays as businessman Chris Johnson revives his proposal. Johnson hopes to enhance the public access with steps, a ramp, benches, and planters, but application inconsistencies have led to 3 adjournments. Approval could force fish market vendors to relocate, which has sparked opposition from market stakeholders. Agricultural revival. JP Farms ahead. Regional news. Agricultural revival. JP Farms ahead on banana recovery in Jamaica. JP Farms' efforts to revive its banana operations post Hurricane Beryl are ahead of schedule. Despite an estimated $600 million revenue loss due to crop and infrastructure damage, JP Farms reports faster than anticipated progress. Key activities like replanting, weed control, and irrigation repairs have set the farm on track for a January 2025 harvest, 5 weeks earlier than planned. In Trinidad, South Arapoach assault. Man left in critical condition. A 55-year-old man is in critical condition following a violent assault in South Arapoach, Trinidad. The victim, who was attacked Monday night by an acquaintance, sustained serious injuries and is now on a ventilator. Police investigations, led by WPC Andrews, are ongoing as they work to locate the suspect. U.S. origin firearms fueling violence in the Caribbean. In the Turks and Caicos Islands, authorities are grappling with a surge in violent crimes with illegal firearms sources from the U.S. largely to blame. Recent police crackdowns highlight the severity of the gun crisis plaguing the region. similar firearm related crime spikes are reported in other Caribbean nations, placing them among the highest murder rates globally, despite limited local access to firearms. Those were your breakfast or news headlines. Thank you for joining us and stay tuned, stay safe, and have a productive day.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
Waiting on the air.
Of course, Asai ultrasound imaging for all your ultrasound need. One of our sponsors right here on the Breakfast Hour. Now, there is a lot to follow up on with the news, Mikey G. I don't know if you're you know
Well, I can tell you the news has had a lot of stuff in there.
I know I'm gonna have to check my sound so that I
Sound
know
is
that
fine.
I
The
am
sound is
hearing
fine.
you loud and
I
clear. While
well,
I go ahead and check my sound, of
uh,
course, we will just
hmm.
be seeing what's happening so that we can hear what we are all saying loud and clear this morning. It is a beautiful morning right here on the Breakfast Hour.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day.
We're running
Getting
in
stuck in the hurdles
circles.
of yesterday.
Yes, yes, yes. Michael G.
I'm just thinking in my mind this morning that we have so many things that we came to our heads today
Yes.
that we want to talk about. In my paper today, maybe tomorrow we should leave that for the hot topic on abortion tomorrow.
Oh, abortion. Yes, that would be a wonderful topic. And of
Yes, so
course, Coralie
actually
Karen will be joining us. Of
tomorrow, yes,
yes,
I want it to be one of those topics that we want to have a conversation about. Bring it to the table. I thought about it long and hard, and I'm thinking we may have touched it a little bit on the surface every now and then.
yes.
But I think maybe tomorrow morning could be a good time to have the conversation a little bit more in depth as what abortion and what it means, where do we stand on it, and if and why we are for or against,
Hmm.
and then let's see where the conversation will lead us. Now, I mean, it is everyone's opinion and everyone's view that is important here. I mean, we're not going to be saying that one person's view trumps the other, but then we must have the conversation to see where we must stand because we must have a position that is wholesome and
Hold your
everyone must
position.
be
Hold
there.
your position, Mikey G.
Earlier on, we talked a little bit about we wanted to go in the news a little bit, but earlier on we went into the aspect of the churches and where
Yes.
churches are formed, right? We don't want to give anyone the impression by us hearing the first part of the conversation, sometimes you form opinions just by hearing a clip, because
Yes.
this is how this world works. You put a clip in there, and that's what the person said, and that's what they meant, and that's the wicked man or the wicked woman or
Right.
some evil system.
Yes. Yes.
You have to have the whole picture of the thing. But then we are dissecting the idea
Yes.
of whether or not churches should come together for the sake of its own survival of Christianity, because it has become a little bit ridiculous now. And we can't seem any more ridiculous to the general population anymore.
Yes.
We are the dumbest set of people on the planet, man. Come on. I mean, come on. If you, as you said earlier, Lady Elise, we teach this unifying of the body of Christ. But yet still the body of Christ being teaching, having the unifying, using the same Bible, and we're going to be looking at the statistics a little bit. I think we had shared that with our listeners some time ago, but I think it's always relevant to have recurring information. It says repetition
I do have the information, but
deepens
because
impression.
I was leaning more to the conversation regarding the news, I had put that one to the side. But
All right, let's go to the
I'll
news for a minute and then come back to the Bible stories
I will pull it up for you, um,
in
and
a
give you
few.
the
Let's look at the news a little bit then, and then when you get it up, we can actually go back into it and look at the stats on this conversation that we're having. Because I mean, we don't have the time to explore it as much as we'd like to, and I don't think it's a topic that, but it's a topic that we could start here and we could end it somewhere else. So we could do the actual conversation at a good forum when we could have all the pieces together and have all the persons that are supposed to be in the room having the conversation, having an wholesome conversation. We can all benefit from it, because this is just the tip on the iceberg, and the Titanic is heading directly for it. And let's see if Titanic has the wits about have the ability to break through the iceberg, or will it just simply hit and crush and sink to the bottom of the ocean where you can't find it anymore. So that's where we are this morning, ladies. So for argument's sake, all right. So conversation on the news, your news, bring it to us for us. Let's hear what your hit on it is.
well, several areas were touched on. One of the things I found interesting is the concern about public spending.
Well, all
Um,
right. So I really heard that, and the first time I heard that public spending was when the then Makiva Bush government would have ended its tenure back in 2006, and the then PPM government would have taken over, and of course it would have the country, and it was a big suggestion
yes.
on the opposition part that they had left how many millions of dollars in the coffers, and at the end of the tenure of the PPM, or within the middle of it, the PPM would have gone through and spent all the money already that was saved up. And that was the conversation there at that time. That's 2006. That's 2006. I remember that one because,
Do you know
yeah,
that the more things change, the more they do remain the same, Mikey G?
yeah,
Things
yes,
have a way of just circling back, you
into
know.
circulation,
Just yeah, yeah, yeah.
back into circulation.
Yes, yes. So we recognize, of course, the weather alert.
Yes,
Of course, that's happening, and then we recognize that in Jamaica there's an attempt of JP Farms to recover their banana industry. I believe the banana industry is one of those industries that suffered the biggest.
blunt of the hurricane and all the
Yes,
weather,
yes,
the
yes.
winds and all of that going on,
Yeah.
it tend to damage those plants
Those
much
crops,
easier.
yes. And of
Yeah.
course, we heard about the crime increase over there in Turks and Caicos Islands, even though it's not legal for persons to have firearm. There have an increase of firearm related crimes happening over there. You know, that's a
Well,
harsh.
well, what you're looking at, Lady Elise,
Yes.
is the question you ask when you see these things happening. And I ask all the time, who benefits from the crime?
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, well,
If you follow the money, you will then find out who is the ones who are actually benefiting. Because it's not the little guys running around with the guns shooting it.
no.
They didn't go across the ocean. They didn't have these what you call customs free passes,
Yeah. So
and
there's some sort of
or they don't have these huge yachts
something
that can,
happening in the system,
and they
Mikey
don't have
G.
some of these huge yachts that can go out and pick up some of these things.
Yeah, yeah.
We have to see these things as real. We don't. We can't say one thing versus another. We have to see it for what it is.
It doesn't exist in isolation.
Yeah, it don't.
Don't exist in isolation. Well, it's if you're just tuning in, you're just joining us. It is a breakfast hour. It's terrific Thursday. You're here live with us. We are our head office is of course in Grand Cayman, and of course we are bringing you the vibes and the energy, and we are having a very vibrant conversation, and we are wondering why we have so many denominations. Now, we're going to put some statistics to it, Mikey G. There are
Okay.
more than 45,000. This is according to livescience.com. There are more than 45,000 denominations. Followers of Jesus span the globe, but the global body of more than 2 billion Christians is separated into thousands of denominations: Pentecostal, Presbyterian, Lutheran, Baptist, Apostolic, Methodist, Seventh day Adventist. The list goes on. Estimates show that there are more than 200 Christian denominations in the US and a staggering 45,000 globally. And this is according to the Center for the Study of Global Christianity. So we are asking the question, why does Christianity have so many branches?
Well, of course, if you have a tree, then you must have branches.
No,
I think, I
but
think, I
even
think, I
within the
think, I
churches,
think,
as
I
you,
think the concept of that. I think the concept of that, Lady Elise, is this:
yes,
ye are the vine, and ye are the branches.
but even within one church, there are branches, right?
So I'm saying to you that where the concern lies.
That's a concern, right?
Where the concern really lies is
Yes,
that you have one body,
yes,
and within the same body, we have so many particles or tentacles that are going different directions,
yes.
and some no unknown reason why is it happening.
Ah, that's a good
And
question.
y-
Why?
you
Why?
know what is happening too is that, and when you look at these things, you question yourself and you say, how can you consider yourself a unified body when you're so fragmented? And that is not in the general populace of saying you're Lutherans and you're naming different names.
Yes.
We're talking when you're in one place
Uh huh.
and you're divided amongst your very self. All right?
Yeah.
And I hear lots of persons say, but I don't believe that. This is what we teach, but I don't believe it. How could you say this is what we teach, but you don't believe it? Who are you? But then the truth be told, here's a reasoning behind that as well. When you have different doctrines creeping in through the back door that are now being taught
It's coming through the front door, Mikey G.
through the front door, oh merciful Father. When it's coming through the front door, when so many different doctrines that were never taught before,
Well, one could argue that knowledge has increased. So with knowledge comes change.
We're not talking about the doctrines that you had and you're improving on them and saying we are following the same line, you know.
What we do?
You're
Getting some new
disregard.
ones?
No, no, you're disregard. This is where I'm going. I want to tell somebody you're disregarding what you believed originally, and you'll find a new belief system. Then, in that sense, then you are not who you say you are. Because if you're not believing the things you started out with, you can't be that same person, you know. So you have to change the name of the
That's a new
organization.
thing that we do, Mikey G. It's not everything that we say we are. That's what we do. You understand? We
Oh,
have we say things with our lips, but our action is totally different.
okay. Well, here's where the Catholic Church. I played a little clip this morning, you
Yes.
know, and we're hearing the. I now see the Adventists and the Catholic are having seminars of how unity can be. It's not all of them. I'm not saying everybody's doing it. I'm saying there's a section or a set of persons within the organization that are actually having seminars with Catholic mandates involved, where we are looking at cohesiveness in some areas. And of course, can see the value. What we would say though is this: the Catholic Church, for the best part of it, would have maintained Christianity over the dark age, over centuries.
Yes.
What most persons knows of Christianity, the
Yes.
Catholic Church would have been the only avenue of knowing about it.
Mm.
So regardless of what we may think, we still will have to give credence to that church for
Mm-hmm.
maintaining it,
Mm-hmm.
despite the fact that it is the same church that crushed true Christianity.
Yes.
You know, so here's where we go. You have a system that teaches something that is now what everybody knows,
Yes.
but persons who actually adhere to the truth of what
Yes.
Christianity is are not visible seen, and they are the lesser ones who are in the shadows, lurking and hiding and telling a message and saying that this is not true, and you look stupid doing it because this is a large organization
Yes.
that has spanned over centuries of truth to
Yes.
many generations of persons.
Yes. Yes.
We have to be careful of these things.
Yeah.
So we can't go in there and just take a hammer or a sledge and knock it. You have to go in there and gently use a surgical tool and then teach the truth. That persons who will know truth will see it.
Yes.
Now, the question and answer is based on the ecumenical treaty that was signed, I think 2017, 2016, one of those years, on October 31st, 2016. I'm thinking, if my memory serves me right, I'm torn between 2016 and 17 as a true date for that thing to be signed, which says that Protestantism is lost. If you ask a lot of persons what is Protestantism, they would possibly don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Things, I guess the definition would have changed over time, perhaps. We could look to
But,
the idea.
but then the definition could change as well, at least that.
Because you're not protesting certain things now, you have adopted certain
No,
beliefs.
but when you sign the treaty, when all these churches, because what had happened was the Catholic Church called all the persons, all the angel, say the word for me, because I'm always getting it wrong.
Evangelicals?
Evangelicals. I cannot get it right. I cannot get
That's
it right.
fine. It's teamwork
Evangelicals,
that
all these
makes
churches,
the dream work.
all these churches came together and they agreed on that Protestantism has ended.
Yes.
20, I think 2016,
Right.
if my memory serves me right, October 31st,
Yes.
which that date marks, for those who are listening this morning, the, the day when Martin Luther would have nailed those 95 theses to the door, I think, in Germany, right? Of the church in Germany, right? That marks that date. What is very interesting
Yes.
is that we as Christians don't have much rituals where we talk about rituals and hold to some holy days in terms of days that we would say make not a holy day because we can't make days holy,
Right.
but make a ritual to or make what you call a highlight of
Mm-hmm.
a of such an important time as that, and say at least recognize it as a memorial
Right.
that others coming behind you can always remember why we are actually protesting and what we are protesting about. Guess what we did?
What did we do?
We kept silent, and now Halloween takes the same date with people going out with skulls and demonic connotations of witchcraftness, and all of these things come on that particular day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
31st of, so everybody who knows when Halloween is, if you know the date of Halloween, always remember that that's the day that Martin Luther protested against false worship. But ironically, Halloween becomes the day when witchcraft become highlighted.
Well, it's because too we have not taken our responsibility as seriously as we ought to, and you know we have a part to play, in the human
Significant.
race. We weren't just born to just live until we die.
Mm.
We share the values, they are passed on, because as we recognize, if we don't pass on the information that we need to pass on,
The younger generation are having problems with it.
and it's
Our
not their
response is
fault, how are you going to blame them? How
we
are
can't
you going to blame them?
cannot blame the youngsters. We
You
can't blame them.
cannot. It is our responsibility. But of
All right.
course, the time is moving so swiftly, Mikey G. The
I can tell you.
conversation
I'm
is so
watching my clock.
sweet.
I'm watching the clock, ladies.
You're watching the clock. Just want to remind you guys to stay safe this morning on the roads. We are having rains, we are having thunderstorms. If you're right here in the Cayman Islands, of course, please exercise caution. Also, let us know what's happening in your neck of the woods. Send us a message, 345-321-6969. Of course, before we go out, their anniversary greetings. There are a few community notice board
Announcements that needs to
items, of course, and I'm gonna just let us share the first community, and then I'll let you know two other events that are happening right here in the Cayman Islands. Of course, let's hear. Get ready for an evening of inspiration as the Savannah Seventh day Adventist Church presents Sermon Through Music Revived. Join us at the Windsor Park Children's Playground on Friday, November 15th. We start with free health checks at 6:30 p.m. Enjoy the marching band at 7:15 and experience uplifting music and Vespers at 7:30 p.m. Reconnect, revive, and be inspired. Hope to see you there.
Join us for ASI Weekend, November 22 to 24, under the theme Reset, Revive, Renew. ASI, a community of Seventh day Adventist laymen and professionals, is committed to sharing Christ in the marketplace. On Friday, connect on Zoom with Pastor Baptiste. Sabbath morning, explore marketplace ministry. Then celebrate the divine service with Pastor Baptiste and witness the installation of our new ASI board members, followed by Sabbath lunch. In the afternoon, don't miss the major project launch and heart resuscitation training. On Sunday, rise early for the SDA 10K run walk at 6 a.m. Wrap up the weekend at 6 p.m. with a grand gospel concert, closing with an inspiring charge by Philip Baptiste. Come, reset, revive, and renew with us. Join us for ASI Weekend, November.
Okay, so there's a lot happening this weekend and more. I just want to share also some other events that are happening, and you know, it, time goes by so quickly. I can't believe we are in 2024, Mikey G, and we are talking about November. I see Christmas lights. All of so many things happen. Also, the Gospel Tabernacle Church of Jesus Christ Apostolic, and of course, they are having pastor appreciation service from the 21st to the 24th of November 2024, and the service will be held on the church grounds nightly beginning at 7:30 p.m. The theme is Turning Point. And of course, they also will be hosting the appreciation dinner for Pastor Carter at the Emsley Memorial Church Hall, 108 Seafarers Way, from 6 to 9 p.m. And the dress code is formal. Tickets are available on request and it's $50 per person. So if you need tickets, of course, you can give us a call 345-321-6969, and your support will be greatly appreciated. Come out and fellowship with us and hear dynamic speaker deliver the word of God. That's the Gospel Tabernacle Church of Jesus Christ Apostolic. So much happening, Mikey G. So much happening.
Well,
Yes.
also, we reminded that the Cayman Islands Conference of Seventh-day Adventists is also having their run walk
Yes.
on the 24th of November and starts at 6 a.m., of course, at the Family Life Center on Walker's Road. Of course, they start there, but they end up at the conference office at the end of the race. And that's coming up on the 24th of November 2024 right here in the Grand Cayman Islands. Of course, so please stay tuned for that one. Of course, there are some telephone numbers to call. The number to call is 949-2647. And of course, call that number, of course, if you need additional information or registration for this event coming up in the Grand Cayman on the 24th of November. This month, of course, guys, run walk. I guess that's next week Sunday, if my mind
Yes,
is
yes, yes. It's next week. As a matter of fact, it's included in the.
conference, Seventh Day Adventist Conference is having that one, and
Yes.
I'm asking that those who are available and capable, and I'm telling you one thing, that is, it is important that we do the exercise program. The conference is providing a way and means of us to get out there and pump those muscles up, and of course to get those lungs going, and of course breathing properly. So yes, exercise, breathing healthy, and of course get some sunshine.
And of course, remember that also East End, they are wrapping up their evangelistic series for a healthier, happier
Happy
you.
are you?
And of course,
Yes.
they will be having a full, well, they have a Friday night service and a full, tonight is rest night, and a full day service on Sabbath starting at 9:15. Of course, they culminate with their music day in the afternoon. So singers from all over will be gathering right there at East End Seventh Day Adventist Church, and of course, Flashpoint will be there. Of course, we will be there
We
representing.
also want to remind that the run walk will be covered by Flashpoint Media. Of course, we'll be having highlights coming from that run walk on that morning of the 24th, telling others about the event. Of course, we are on board with the conference of making sure that persons get a chance to get out there and actually have a great morning and start your day right on that weekend.
Of course, Mikey G, we need to be prepared to also offer an award for the winner. We will select either the oldest winner
So we have
or
to
the
get
youngest
one
winner
Flashpoint
or a
award.
flashpoint winner. We will be having a flashpoint award. Definitely as a part of what we will be doing there. We're certainly looking forward to represent um, as we spread the gospel far and near. So much happening.
Guys, stick and stay. Of course, it has been a minute. It has been a wonderful morning. For those who have just joined us this morning, on of course on YouTube, on our Facebook page, we want to tell you also for those who are on radio at www.flashpointmedia.com flashpoint.ky. Of course, continue to listen, stick and stay with Flashpoint. We have programs all day, of course, highlights of many different things. Of course, our weather reports keep coming up. So if you want to
Oh
be more
yes,
informed,
before we go, Mikey, we must give them the latest update of the weather. But before we give up the latest update, just
yes,
want to send happy anniversary, 20th
yes.
wedding anniversary to um, Mr. and Mrs. Mason.
I remember there was a birthday yesterday, and so today, this guy is celebrating all week. I would say good morning, Mr. Mason, and of course, happy anniversary, and of course, I believe. Well, I did say birthday yesterday. I understand that my mic was turned down yesterday, and I'm going to say somebody was responsible for that. But anyways, so I had my quote of birthday yesterday that I added already, and probably didn't come out as well as it should. But anyways, today we want to say happy anniversary to you and your lovely wife, of course, on I don't know how many years of marriage.
20 years, Mikey
20
G, 20
years.
years.
Wow, wow, wow. What do you get for 20 years of marriage?
20 years of love. That's the
Ah,
gift. 20
wow.
years of love and a promise for many more years to come. So we like to celebrate with individuals and of course let us know what's happening in your neck of the woods so that we can certainly be sharing that. Remember also that the Ebenezer Seventh Day Adventist Church they begin their evangelistic crusade this weekend and of course it will be held at the King's Seventh Day Adventist Church. Now, on as it relates to the weather this morning, Mikey G, I must share the 6 a.m. update from the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. And this is the official public weather forecast. And of course, they are mentioning that the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida, is issuing advisories on a tropical depression 19th, which as at 4 a.m. was located 235 miles south to southwest of Grand Cayman with maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour. Tropical Depression 19 is moving towards the west at 16 miles per hour. And that would explain why we are having the rainy weather this morning. So today is forecasted to be cloudy to overcast with an 80% chance of thunderstorms, which we are already having. Showers may become locally heavy at times. Possible flooding in low lying areas are expected. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be east to northeast at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts. Seas will be rough with wave heights of 5 to 7 feet. A small craft advisory remains in effect. So, guys, please be safe out there on the roads. If you live in a low lying area, please proceed with caution.
Caution.
Yes.
Of course, remember also tomorrow will be your open portal. Tomorrow is what? Tomorrow will be what? Thursday? Friday?
Of
Friday. Wow.
course,
Today.
tomorrow is Friday.
All right. So
TGIF
the open
it
portal
is.
comes up at 6:30 in the p.m.
Yes.
Yes. Of course, please join us for that one because tomorrow evening we'll be having some really heavy discussion as well. We want to talk a little bit about a few topics. We'll share those topics with you later on. You'll see the updates coming up, and of course you can follow us on Facebook, like us on Instagram, and of course continue to listen to us on www.flashpointmedia.ky for all your media needs right there. Of course, advertise with us. Of course, all it remember advertise with Flashpoint. Keep your message in the now, right here on Flashpoint.
Yes,
It is.
yes, yes. Oh, beautiful morning this morning. A beautiful one. Please be safe on the road, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Breakfast Hour. You know what I find out, Mikey G? Can I tell you? Can I tell you? Can I
Please,
tell you?
please, tell,
Can I
please
tell
tell
you?
us.
Please do tell you. It gets sweeter and sweeter and sweeter and sweeter and just nicer.
Well, let's talk about let's have our conversation tomorrow. Continues on the church's position on the church in terms of how we should live in these last days and how we are looking at how things are coming together and this unity of churches, the unifying of it. You know, and we want to
Yeah,
live.
I remember what we're talking about tomorrow. Remember we were discussing the hot topic of abortion, Mikey G.
Oh, tomorrow, of course, please, guys, join us tomorrow for the topic abortion tomorrow morning, right here on the breakfast. So we're going to do that one non-stop. We get a panel together. We need to get a few people in who want. If you want to talk about it, guys, there's an open floor for you. You can be a part of the conversation as well. The number to call is 13459. Sorry, 134566969.
One
Let's do
three
that.
four five three two one six nine
Six
six
nine six.
nine. That's all right,
Guys,
Mikey G.
I just messed up the number, guys. So forgive me for that one. Of course, hit us up on, of course, if you want to send us an email, of course, info@flashpointmedia.
Of course, yeah.
Are we part of this circus? Is it innate? Feels like a heavy burden, but I can't relate. Do our actions even matter? Or is this a fate? At least now I'm feeling better. I know I'm here to stay. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air. Look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside.